Cells back.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've got
Would
the camera
prefer
a bit
not
higher
to.
on angle down. Or maybe not.
That's usually how I've been doing it. I don't know if that's right. Let's not. Actually, can you just show me OBS again? I just want to make sure I'm like sent. This is.
Almost centered.
Oh yeah, this actually. Let me just like move the camera slightly to the side then. Okay, am I? No?
We're more off center now.
I really
You moved it the opposite way.
I'm really bad at directions, it turns out.
Next time we should review the camera before you start.
Yeah. I didn't notice until... Okay.
Yeah.
How's that looking?
Yeah, you're centered.
Okay, cool. Please feel free to sound off in chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure all the audio is coming through okay. We're getting better at this. But yeah, so just let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Great, wonderful. Then I am going to get started. Yeah, let's pretend that was our first try at perfect centering.
I think you're getting a little bit of the, like, hair. Oh no,
Okay, mystery. Let me know if there's any mysterious rustling noises coming through on the mic. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything about it, but it'll be good to know. So yeah, I'm gonna jump right through it. If this happens to be your first time joining, this is my ongoing stream where I play Final Fantasy XIII, which is the biggest design inspiration for the RPG that I'm working on right now, Getting a Car Loser. And I'm sort of going through talking about some of the design decisions that they made and some of the design decisions that I made in adapting some of their systems. Or, you know, just swooning over how beautiful lightning is. You know how it is. I'm personally very excited about this part of the game because this is the bit where I get to steal everyone's wallets and actually have spending money. Oh. Also, I should like pay attention in fights so that I don't die immediately. Big fan of not dying.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how close we are to a cutscene. They seem to be very evenly spaced though. Like, I feel like you're basically always the same distance away from a cutscene.
Yeah, no, it seems like every time we go through stuff, it's been about 10 minutes at the most.
I do like the theming on them having the same abilities as me, but they're all prefixed with mana drive, which, you know, has interesting implications about how magic works. Like, I feel like that's a good way to explain why enemies that are presumably not powered by gods have similar things. Without, you know, getting too into it. Yeah, funny when healer enemies are just desperately trying to cure someone who's like way up in the air. It's funny because I recently made an adjustment in Get in the Car where actually being 100 feet in the air means that you're more like healing will work better on you. It's not how it works in this at all. I just completely blew my my preemptive strike here. Just completely fucked it up. But yeah, so the way that it works in this is that enemies have a chain gauge, and that's always just for taking damage. So the more you build up that gauge in the corner, the stagger meter, the more damage they'll take. But players also... No, I am a medic. Why am I getting my ass kicked then? So the player characters also have a chain gauge. It's not usually visible unless the first party member is a healer. So you can't normally see it, but it's there, but it only affects healing. So the more you get healed, the more when you get healed, it builds a chain gauge, meaning that the next heal gets multiplied by that. So the more you get healed, the more you get healed, but in a way that basically means once healers start, they're able to bring you up to full very quickly, which I don't think it's really necessary for that to be on like a chain gauge system, but I think they thought the theming of it was interesting. Like the way it tied together. It's not actually functionally different from like if you just had a full ATB and it did a heal. Anyway, but something that I was finding in Get in the Car is that staggering enemies was just too powerful. And I've been making various adjustments to try to make it feel like, you know, like it's really dramatic when you stagger an enemy, but it's still... Yeah, sadly you can't launch your allies into the air. It would be funny though. But yeah, something that I've been trying to do is I want it to feel like when you stagger an enemy, you're about to do something really powerful, but I don't want it to feel like, oh, I've already won. Now I'm just gonna have to wait for all this to happen. So, I'll get into it once I go into the Get in the Car portion of the stream. But I've made some further changes to the way stagger works, and I'll explain why in a bit. But now, when enemies are staggered, they don't necessarily stop fighting. Like, they'll continue to take actions and attack you. They'll just do it in a slower way, which is actually a little bit closer to how Final Fantasy XIII does it. Originally, I made them like stop while they were staggered, but yeah, there were some reasons for that change, and I'll explain why later. But another big thing is that the reason why I went off on this tangent to begin with is that enemy heals are now multiplied by the enemy stagger meter. So if you're doing like 200% damage to an enemy, they're getting healed by 200% as well, meaning that like you're still overall probably gonna beat them, but there's still an incentive to, you know, take out the healer first. And hopefully it feels a little bit I think the thing is that, yeah, Ren in chat is mentioning that before one strategy, not a good strategy, but definitely a strategy, is that we have an enemy called the Jerk Patrol that can summon friends to help. Hope says what I'm thinking every time. But yeah, have an enemy called the Jerk Patrol. It summons friends. One way that you previously could stop from doing that was by staggering every single one of them, which is really time-consuming and not like a very satisfying way of fighting them. So,
Thanks.
the thing that I want players to do is just taunt them. So, hopefully this will make that strategy even more more the viable one. Okay, what does it deal with Huntresses? I need to look at this. Okay, capable of buffing, so that's why they're dropping all these buffs. Okay. Well, fine. Ah, shit. Okay, well, this is not gonna go well.
New strategy. Thank you.
I think I'm about to lose this fight. Let's just hit retry right now. I'm just trying to figure out, are the Huntress outfits, are they shorts or mini skirts? Like, what's this? What are the details on this cute little CIA outfit? Actually, are Psychon the CIA or the Feds? It's a little unclear. I guess they're probably closer to. Well, they work for the church, they're bad, and they have cute miniskirts. I guess that's the takeaway here. Right, Psychom are feds, church feds, and Guardian Corps are just cops. I know I say this so much that I sound like a broken record, but launch is so good. I just love how much of a part of combat launching someone up into the fucking air is. There's one unfortunate thing, is that there is an ability called Smite, where once someone's launched but they're about to run out of stagger, they can punt them down and like it does extra damage, but in practice you never actually see it. I don't remember, it might come up more in like boss fights, but like it doesn't really seem to happen against these
On your toes.
these normal guys. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use Libra,
Thanks.
as I should. It has a chain resistance of 83. I don't understand some of these numbers. I don't know where you come up with 83 chain resistance. I'm also, now that like I'm trying to implement slow animations into like animations for the effect of slowing down an enemy and to get in the car, I'm looking at the animation for it here, and it's definitely over-designed. Like, they've got like the little like clock type thing spinning, but there's also like honeycombs in the background, and I'm not entirely sure. It looks dramatic, but it doesn't necessarily evoke slowing down. Yeah, there's just something really satisfying about this very long chain of the enemy staying up in the air as you just continue to, like, Marvel versus Capcom style juggle it. Like, I'd forgotten just how much this makes the whole stagger system feel really satisfying.
Let's get this over with. Out of my way! Back under you.
Yeah, like there's circles around them, there's circles on the floor, there's so much going on. So remember, the legal definition of an anime fighter is it's a game that has air dashes in it. That's all that means. So, we've got some real good bullshit. We got some good air juggles, but we do not have air dashes. I don't think Lightning should have an air dash. That would be too powerful. She has to have some weakness.
Keep a cool head. New strategy.
Something I keep noticing is that I really like the effect that they use when an enemy gets staggered, like when it shows the words stagger. It's most of the actual effect like isn't necessarily something like that's very rendered. It's just they move the camera always in a very dramatic way. This was one of the things that like I was studying and trying to see if I could replicate like how this game does it. And the answer is, and get in the car, and the answer is no, because it's very, like, built into the 3D. They have, like, a little white... It's not a full screen flash. Sometimes it is when, like, they zoom in close enough to an enemy, but it's just, like, a little, like, white glow effect around the enemy, and the camera instantly jumps from, like, wherever it was to somewhere more dramatic. And then just just spells out the word stagger, which was yeah, not an option, so that's why I had to go with the shattered glass thing instead. Otherwise, like, if it was something I could have mercilessly stolen, I would have, but just was not in the cards. Thank you, Isaac. I keep not paying attention and just leaving myself in that paradigm with the medic out, and that's just leaving a lot of damage on the table. Is extremely not worth it. This guy can be debuffed, right? Yeah, this guy can definitely be debuffed. Maybe I should do that. No, I don't have a good paradigm for... I was just thinking it would be good if I had a paradigm that was like Commando, Ravager, Saboteur, since that way we'd build up the stagger meter while also getting all those debuffs on him. But unfortunately, I haven't set one like that. Also, the absolute only thing related to timing in this game is that when you're punching in these auto combos, like these things where it fills up the ATB for you automatically, you can press Y to instantly go for it even if you don't have a full ATB yet. So that's a way if you see someone fall, like an enemy in the air falling, you can hit that, leave some damage on the table, but instantly keep them up in the air. Ravager, Synergist, Saboteur. Yeah, it's a good, I think I'm probably gonna fight that enemy again, and I'm gonna want... I'll leave Protection for a boss fight. Delta Attack I haven't been using at all, so let's get rid of that. Make that... Yeah, Commando, Ravager, Saboteur. Oh yeah, Saboteur can do the same thing as Commando for chain building, so I guess it's not necessary to have a Commando in there. What she means by that is that Saboteurs have, Commandos have an ability where they make the chain meter just go slower by a lot. So if you're only hitting them with Ravager abilities, the chain meter falls pretty quickly, and it's hard to keep up the pressure, but if you have a Commando in the party, it will drop at a very, very slow rate, and you'll easily be able to push it over. Saboteur has a similar ability. I don't remember exactly how they work. The numbers are very complicated. The equations in this game are have slightly more variables than they should, having looked them up on the wiki. Okay, I'm a level 3 Commando. Let's see, let's get some more Ravager abilities. Sab isn't as good as Commando. Yeah, I think that's correct. There's also oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Level up Hope. Boost chain bonus effect of attacks for each ally targeting the same enemy. That's... yeah, that's good. I feel like one of the big things about, like, just the way the stagger system works is that, like, every Final Fantasy game has always revolved around you want to be bullying one enemy at a time. And I think this just really leans into it by, like, giving you, like, even more mechanical reason to do so. Like, it's acknowledging that that's your strategy and rewards you for doing it, like, to just a much greater degree, like, to the point where, like, it shows you one enemy's, like, bar on screen just to emphasize you're focusing on this jerk at a time. Yeah, that's fine. It's a game about how bullying is very mechanically satisfying and feels good.
You asked for it.
Let the hot butch be a bully, please. I really do feel like it's just a missed opportunity that whenever you kill something in the air, like, whenever you knock it up into the air and it just dies immediately, that there isn't, like, some kind of animation acknowledging that. Because, like, they do a lot of stuff with animations in this, and, like, always show, like, wanting to make sure that there's a cool, dramatic camera angle on that. And I feel like that would just be a good indicator. Yeah, burst into confetti when they, like, get launched into the air and instantly die. That would be funny. Okay, I don't think I need to be starting with the one that gives me buffs right now. Might not be necessary. I'm not sure. I feel like the problem with Smite is that you just don't see it very often. Like, I feel like that's really a problem. Where Smite is, like, incredibly satisfying and, like, they acknowledge that, like, yeah, you should just have, like, some last-ditch attack for, you should have a last-ditch attack for, when Stagger's about to end and you just want to get, like, a little more in. Oh, fuck. Hope died while stammering. That's great. It's fine. Everything's fine. Just don't think I'm gonna get 5 stars on this one. But yeah, the problem is just, I don't think the CPU does, like, Smite enough, just because, like, I assume it's probably doing it as frequently as it would be appropriate, it just doesn't quite come up enough. So something I've been thinking about is that I do, now that I have launch in Get in the Car, I want to have Smite as well because, you know, it's fun and makes sense and would be a good replacement for an ability that, like, just has not quite come together yet for me. And I think it would probably fit a little bit better in there, actually, just because, like, having it be an explicit action you take means that you'll definitely do it as much as you feel like it should happen. different death animations for killing on a crit. That's really interesting. Like, that's definitely a good way to make it feel, like, really satisfying. Yeah, we don't really have a concept of a critical hit in Get in the Car. Kind of by design, I want to, like, take out a lot of the randomness of RPGs, so there's no random numbers at all. But it does mean you lose stuff like that as a result. Which can be, like, satisfying even not actually, like, making a meaningful difference. Yeah, Fire Emblem is really good for crit animations. They're just, which makes a lot of sense because critical hits in Fire Emblem make a huge difference. Like, it's something that radically changes, you're never strategizing around them happening because, and like, most enemies in Fire Emblem, like, or most anyone in Fire Emblem is dying in either 1 to 2 hits. Like, that's just, the way the games are balanced, so the GBA, so yeah, the critical hit animations are exactly as dramatic as an enemy died that shouldn't have been able to die under those circumstances warrants. And like, they're just fun to watch. Like, if you haven't seen these, just look up the GIFs online because they're just that good.
Thanks.
Someone in chat pointed out, it is weird that the paradigm for Ravager, Medic, Commando doesn't have, like, a name. It's just diversity, which is the name that the game gives to any generic paradigm that, like, doesn't have a preset. But, like, I feel like this is a pretty common one. This is, like, these are the fundamentals. Yeah, that enemy that Fang launched into the air just should have turned to confetti.
Thank you.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm wrong then. What's the, do they just have names for every possible combination? If so, then I'm very much misremembering. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, apparently I'm wrong. There's just a unique name for every possible combination of paradigms. Which is cool, even if some are more evocative than others. A Commando and 2 Synergists being all for one, that's funny.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Yeah, like I feel like a situation like this where like the battle has basically been won at this point. It's just a question of how long is it going to take me to kill him is difficult to avoid, but obviously best avoided. Ravager, Sentinel, Saboteur being Matador. Yeah, that's also really good. That's definitely a good evocative one.
Attention all crew, code green. Repeat, code green. Security forces stand by. Hostile forces on board, code green. Get up, you're being moved. On your feet, scum. You too.
Alright, time to split. Not run. There's a difference.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
Do I deserve to escape?
What? You'd rather die?
What?
Cause that's gotta scare you. Scares me. Scares me so much. I think I might die of fright. So, I push myself to live even harder. I can just imagine Dodge laughing at me talking this nonsense. Right now, I'd do anything to see that smile. Stay positive, right?
Fanil with the gun is great, and like I don't know, I like her very weird antler rake thing. I don't really understand entirely how it's supposed to work, but you know, it's cute. It's like here's the weird down-to-earth technology from Grand Pulse compared with, you know, Saws having guns or Lightning having a gun blade, which is obviously very cool, and I really like it. Yeah, what if Cat's Cradle but killed people? But I feel like there's a real missed opportunity here where nobody has like a weapon that feels like, you know, like incongruous in like an endearing way. Like they're all just like a little bit too characteristic. Whereas like if Vanille just had a machine gun, I feel like that would be like both adorable and terrifying. So I wish they'd gone for something like that. It's like, it's the appeal of and Cat's Cradle. Also good. But yeah, I feel like there's like a good like gap appeal when a small cute character has a giant weapon, and that's why Grace has a Sword of Fate that's like twice her size. Okay, do I want to boost medic? It says I have abilities, but I don't. I gotta say, this is not the most intuitive upgrade screen I've ever seen in my life. It maybe could do a little bit less.
Also zoom that camera out.
They changed this in Final Fantasy 13 too. They like made it a more straightforward list. Like they took some of the visual effects but made it much more easy to read. Also, hey, look at that pop in on that circle to the right. Just fine. Don't need to render it. Okay, well I guess I'll upgrade medic.
Shall we then?
Yeah, the music in this area is good. I'm digging. Oh, and it keeps going even in the battles. That's cool. Unfortunately, we're now to the very cursed two-person parties, which is just not enough characters to do anything interesting. Okay, goodbye, Flanator. You will... It's a really good name. Yeah, I'm also happy that this area doesn't have a constantly playing alarm noise in the background for the entire bit. That may have been a misstep. So Final Fantasy XIII 2's solution to making sure that, like, even in, like, when you have two people in the party, that there's always like a third character to balance out the paradigm was that it has monsters as party members. Like, you can just like collect monsters and like put like any enemy and put them in your party. So I know I know Ren, who's in chat, was just doing an all flan run where every configuration was just one of the many flans in this universe that are all kind of just upsetting looking. They're not very friendly looking. Like, I just don't like their shape. Like, I feel like flan is a very friendly dessert, so I don't understand why the flan enemies don't seem like friends at all.
Always have to make these things more complicated than they need to be.
Oh my god, yeah, he does in fact combine his two guns into a single one for... The attack animations in this are really incredible.
Wisdom does come with age.
And yeah, it is very Super Sentai. Okay, take out the healer first. Like, I will say the Flanator's behavior is very cute. Like, I guess that's gap appeal. I just don't like... I just wish it was cuter looking. Also, I wish it was fucking dead. Stop healing. Okay. Maybe I should pay a little bit more attention to this fight and less attention to how annoyed I am at the fal'Cie. Have I scanned the Flanborgs? Zero chain resistance. I feel like the problem with like the stagger meter being so complicated, like the fact that it's a combination of chain resistance plus the stagger point, means that I understand that this means it gets staggered quickly, but I don't really have a better understanding than that. Okay, get some healing in here, please. So I guess the really low chain resistance means that these guys stagger really easily even if you only have a commando in the party. That seems to be... Is that what happened there? No? Okay, I guess not that by that much. My theory was incorrect. That's pretty good.
This thing's gonna keep us out.
It is definitely interesting that, like, because there's no, like, visible, like, there are no visible numbers of hit points in the battles. Like, you can pull it up by using scan and then going to the screen, but I think part of, like, why they want to have so many different stagger points is that they want you to be able to look at this and, like, instantly go, oh, well, this guy has 190% as a stagger meter. That's hard to do. So he must be a tough one, versus the fal'Cie having their stagger point at 115%, which, you know, is, like, just obviously visibly lower, so you can think, oh, well, that's an easier thing to target. I should do that first, regardless of what their actual hit points are. So I don't know how those compare. That's the thing. That's, like, because those are such big numbers, it's hard to keep in my head, whereas, like, I remembered off the dome. Oh yeah, in this encounter, the Flamborg has 190% point as its point, and the Flander has 115. I think also like the numbers of hit points might change with the enemy level. I'm not sure how that works exactly. But because it's like, you know, a complex variable, it's hard to remember.
Code purple. I repeat, code purple. Security breach. All units on alert. Code purple.
Looks like we ain't the only ones cleaning house. Could be Lucy.
Could be Fang. Come on, let's hurry.
Let's go get rescued.
No, not this time. For once in my life, I am going to save her.
All right, now you're talking. Let's go.
Code purple. I repeat, code purple. Security breach. All units on alert. Code purple.
All these colors. What's it mean?
Means we're doing our job. Making a lot of SciComm guys nervous.
Who are they fighting?
Anil.
Let's hurry it up. Neil's waiting.
And we're back to all sirens. This may have been an audio misstep. But yeah, like, this one has 12,960 hit points. That is not something you'll ever remember. Ever. It's just too big and too noisy number, which is fine. I don't think they're expecting you to. I think that's why, like, they really want to emphasize the stagger points instead. Hey, what's the camera doing there?
This'll be interesting.
I really like all the robot versions of like normal enemies that we've seen. Oh, it's shivering. Oh boy.
Time for another approach.
Okay. I should have switched to something with a healer sooner. This might be a time to retry.
Keep your mind on the battle. Keep the enemy off balance.
Okay, just gonna be a little more cautious. Maybe having a medic isn't so bad. I feel like retry is really important, especially since like a big part of the battle system in this is like it's not based on attrition. You get all your health back at the end anyway. But it is about like sort of optimizing your party once you get to the once the world opens up. Like it turns into trying to make sure you get 5 stars, so like if you know you're doing too poorly, you can switch. Yeah, the protagonist of Final Fantasy XIII too is Sarah, Lightning's sister, who is currently imprisoned in Crystal. Who is really like, just like, obviously not like a major character in this due to the whole Crystal prison part.
Let's keep this up.
Oh, that's so many of these guys. Remember when we fought one of these guys? I felt like that was a good number. Okay, right. I want Smart Bomb because these guys are susceptible to sabotage. Just gonna slow them all down, so maybe they'll get a little less up on my dick. And I am probably gonna need to switch to something with healing in a moment, but I'm really hoping I can just fucking kill this guy. Yeah, okay, let's get some healing. Yeah, like right there, the stagger was ending. Fang had just been up in the air, but there was no smite. Which I think is just because like it wasn't in the ATB, like her ATB had exhausted. But that's sort of the problem with the way that it automatically puts stuff in the queue. With regards to smite in particular, I feel like in general the game works really well with that, but I think that's probably why you just don't see smite happen very often. Yeah, I feel like the most interesting thing that can happen in like either an action game or like an RPG, anything where you're like making decisions like that is just like balancing a risk versus reward, like, and like specifically the very obvious risk reward of, well, I could be aggressive or I could be defensive. And I feel like it's really satisfying when you know, you're like, well, I could block or I could just kill him immediately. And those are like, I could heal or I could just try to kill him as fast as possible and you pull off killing them as fast as possible instead, that's just really satisfying. And like, of course it needs to be difficult enough that like there actually is a genuine risk, otherwise like it's just like sealing off like one of the systems. It means that healing isn't important, but like if there's a genuine risk and you still manage to pull it off, that just feels real good. So here's what I mean about like some dynamics that are like really unnecessary, but still like add a lot anyway. Watch this. Every time they land, they take fall damage. Like, it's a trivial amount of fall damage. It doesn't actually matter. It's just like 10, but it's still really funny to watch. Oh, okay, I'm fucking dead. This is not gonna happen. I guess this is an opportunity for using up one of the many tufts of Phoenix down that I have. Like, how many do I... Yeah, okay, fine, I'll just use that. I really don't want to repeat this entire fight. I will just swallow my 1-star victory. Yeah, wow, okay. Okay, so now that Lightning is a healer, you can see that, like, when she targets an ally, they have that chain gauge that goes up over time, but it's only for healing. Aw, Fang. Never mind, we're retrying this. We're retrying, and I'm going to focus a little more. One slightly unfortunate thing about the retry system is that it tries to place you right before the fight, but it doesn't do like a perfect, it doesn't perfectly place the enemies, like the enemy state, it doesn't perfectly track it, so sometimes you can bomb a fight, hit retry, it'll place you right in front of them, and then you'll get a surprise attack. Yeah, no smite there either. Definitely I could summon Odin. That might actually be a good idea just because I'm sitting on 5 TP anyway. Might as well.
Odin.
Odin. Like, there's never any reason to sit on TP like that. Should always use it up. So, that's what I'm doing. Right now, I'm just waiting to build up Gestalt. Okay, it's full.
We do this together.
Let's ride.
No time to waste.
don't believe there's ever an instance where it's bad to summon. Like, I think the worst case is just that, like, you don't get anything out of it.
The storm is here.
But I don't use summons all that much.
Until next time.
I do largely keep forgetting that they exist, honestly. Like, that didn't help me out all that much. It was worth doing just because, you know, no point sitting on a ton of TP. Fang! Fuck me. Yeah, okay. This is... So far, my strategy has not been paying off very well. I think I need some buffs here. I think that's my problem. Hope, please tell me you have better buffs than that. I really... Okay, yeah. He has Protect. I think my problem has just been, like, I've not had enough either buffs or debuffs on these guys, and they're just too tough for that to not be a thing. Okay, cool. Doing better. Now let's... Fuck. Yeah, no, this is something that I really appreciate about this game, is that it really is, like, focused around buffs and debuffs. Like, you actually do have to, you know, think about... like, using that entire toolkit. Even if just in practice it means, like, what you need to do is, like, leave a synergist up for a while and have a saboteur up for a while. Like, just, like, making you think about it in terms of explicit roles in, like, a very, like, high-level way of thinking about it, whereas, like, in traditional Final Fantasy, you're often just going, like, oh, well, these are the laundry list of spells that I need to cast on myself, and there's nothing I can cast on enemies because enemies aren't vulnerable to status effects when it matters. Like, this is a good, just, like, you know, random encounter that, like, feels, like, difficult and challenging, but, like, isn't for any, like, mini-boss reasons. It's just a tough fight that forces you to, like, actually think tactically. No, get staggered again, jerk. Okay. I'm in the part of the fight where I can breathe a little easier. I don't think I'm getting many stars for this one. Then I'm going to switch to 2 commandos. Hopefully that'll be better for damage output. Let's see how this goes. Stay in the air, please. Just absolutely... There we go. We finally got a smite. And like, yeah, it's good. The animation's not quite as dramatic as it ought to be. Oh... Yeah, see, there's that gamble. That's... It's good that it is, in fact, a risk. It's fine, actually. I love to eat shit. I'm gonna use one of these to make myself tougher. While I have haste, I'm going to get some buffs going very quickly. Yeah, I guess right now I actually don't have any party members with haste, so using that buff ability is my one mechanism for doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna handle this cautiously because I really don't want to repeat this fight a 4th time. I am going to not talk so much because that is the thing that keeps murdering me. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, just stay in the air, please. Sorry, my chat device just lost everything, so I don't think I can see what's going on right now. I'm gonna check on that once I finish this fight, due to the aforementioned worries about being murdered. Just bear with me for a second. Okay. Target time 8 minutes. Well, I'll take the 5 stars, I suppose. I really wish I could see chat right now. Sorry. Sorry, bear with me for a second. I just want to get off this screen with the sirens. Although I guess there's just more sirens, so really. Miguel is just taking a look at the tablet and hopefully able to figure out why it is suddenly pretending to not be on the internet. That's how I see chat, so right now I can't see anything being said by any of you lovely people.
Thanks.
I like its mid-air squirming animation. That's just... that is funny.
Hardly worth the effort.
Okay, so the point of interest is there. That means I probably want to move inwards, because there's going to be something. Are there any actual, like, treasure chests up here? Yeah, okay, there's an orb. I am indeed going in the right direction. the Huntress out so it stops buffing.
Change of plan.
Sorry, still just waiting on the tablet to hopefully fix itself so I can see what y'all are saying. I don't think I have the chat app on my phone or anything, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately I don't.
And I was just getting started.
You have a monitor in the corner showing like what's being streamed, and I can see the chat moving there, but maybe if I put my glasses on I'll be able to. I can read that.
Nothing I can't handle.
Anyway, just gonna fight some wasps.
Just like I planned.
Something I'm really feeling in this area is that one thing that like classic Final Fantasy I feel is really good about is just that like really satisfying victory fanfare when you win a fight. Obviously not just Final Fantasy has that, but like comparing this to earlier games, I feel like most of its dynamics are a lot more interesting. But that's one level that like I feel like it doesn't quite hit that same like emotional high note.
Colonel, we've lost the intruders.
That means we're code yellow. No, wait. If we were orange, that would mean
The escapees made it through. They're entering the engine room.
no. Damn the sea.
Intruders located. They're on the weather deck, starboard side.
Make it rain.
Desperate times demand flexibility. Code White.
How is that? What's going on?
But yeah, I feel like the satisfaction of like getting a 5-star victory is good. That's satisfying. That like it's actually meaningful that like you actually did something well. Okay, I now have the tablet back. It is working. Thank you so much, Miguel. Unfortunately, I can't see anything you just said before now, so
Too many codes. Your glasses. There's some other stuff, but that's the important.
nah, I think I got the gist of it. Okay, let's buff Synergist here, because we got a lot of abilities missing. Eventually I'll get an ability. No!
Reach there.
It would definitely be great to have haste. Haste is like, well, as you saw in that fight against the three Vikings, it's a pretty good ability. Let's see, how close am I? Oh, okay, very close. I just need like 1100 CP, so not insubstantial, but that'll definitely help a lot. Unfortunately, I wander into danger because there's a promise of an orb.
Bullseye. Didn't even have to ask.
Be careful!
Thanks, Vanille. You got this, Vanille.
You can do it!
Yeah, Flamborg isn't even a pun. It's not cute, and it doesn't have a cute behavior. It's just a... And it's not even cute like the normal robots in this. Like the little, like the scan droids are incredibly cute. Oh. Don't block me from my orb.
Not bad.
Yeah, just like, what if I got like a good jingle there? I feel like I want that catchy fanfare. Like, not that I don't appreciate, you know, how much Masashi Hamauzu is,
Afraid of you.
giving this game, like, a very unique, just approach to audio compared to, you know, Uematsu's stuff, but it just needs a jingle. Like, doesn't have to be that one, just needs to be something. For example, in Get in the Car, we have the little, personally, I think victory fanfare is just really important, so we have it in Get in the Car, but we got, we got the vocalist on the battle music to just do like a really good dramatic little bit, and it's I don't know, I think it's really satisfying. Hopefully you all agree. Oh. Okay. That did not go well. Sorry, I got distracted thinking of, thinking about Jammy's voice. I will try to focus on things that aren't girls. I can't promise I'll be good at it, but I'll try. I just really like the way she says, "Baby, you're mine." Bad news. Did it again.
Luck's finally run out.
Okay. Let's... You know what? I'm sitting on a ton of these buffs. Let's just... Might as well use them. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting pattern of you meet an enemy and you're like, oh, this guy isn't all that. Like, I dealt with some of the Vespid soldiers before and, like, as far as I'm concerned, they ain't shit. But then, you put them in a fight where you can't just immediately kill them because there's 3 of them and they've got, you know... They've got a friend, and then suddenly you're actually seeing like, oh no, you just killed them quickly, and now you're dealing with them with their full toolkit. Please don't cast Aeroga.
Thanks, Vanille.
Like, I'm just nervous to not have a medic in this party right now, given they're doing so much burst damage. It is, to be fair, I could be a little more reactive because... You know, they give you lots of warning when they're using one of those attacks. Settle down, please.
Watch and learn, kid.
It's Aeroga. It's not Aeroga. arrow gaze right out of the question. Oh, come on. Please get staggered. I'm begging you. Thank you. No, I'm not gonna kill him on this time around. This sucks. Okay, so that was an instance where I saw that the ATB was running, or sorry, not the ATB, the stagger meter was running out. So I hit Y to fire off the attack early, and Saw's used Scourge, which is like his version of Smite. It does extra damage as you're leaving stagger. And he has a different version of it because he just doesn't have launch due to him using guns and, you know... No! Fuck. I pushed that too hard. So that's the thing where you can see that the effect of having a commando in the party is that whenever they attack, they put the enemy stagger meter in a state where it depletes slower. So right now, even though the party is both Ravagers, it's still moving at the speed of... Yeah, and now it's moving fast. Because there's no commando. However, I think I can push him over. Yes. Okay. I think this guy is what Code White is. They just unleash the Thermodon and his wasp friends. I can't wait to find out what the target time for this is. Oh, just... Yeah, okay. Scourge is pretty good, at least. I just wish it came up more often. Okay. Yeah, it expected me to do better there. I just not dealing with these two-person parties. Oh, there's no orb. Fuck. Why did I fight that thing? What was even the point? Oh wait, no, there is an orb. Never mind. Oh boy, another one. Yeah, one of the things about the rank system is that, like, one way of one way of getting a higher star ranking is just being a higher level and therefore being more powerful.
We got this, Vanille.
Which isn't necessarily relevant at this exact point, but will be later. So, as a result, like, sometimes, you know, it's not necessarily, you don't have to play smarter, you could just go and level up a bit. Although we're not at the point of the game where, like, grinding is really a factor at all. So here's a question. Every time he does, like, they combine into like a shotgun thing, or a rifle, it's hard to tell, whereas pistols combine into a bigger gun. Oh, no, not the paradigm I wanted. Fuck.
Holding up, kiddo.
Oh. I'm retrying that. But yeah, I think every time he pulls his guns apart, like he does the attack and then like goes back to normal, I think they're always hiding that in a situation where like he's blocking the camera from seeing it. So like he always turns his back to the camera so that you can't see the two split apart again, which is definitely a good way to handle like something like conceptually weird like that. I like that a lot.
Go, girl.
It's really smart. Just don't even worry about it. Hello.
Didn't even have to ask. Watch and learn, kid.
Just a really big fan of the don't even worry about it approach. Yeah, you're right. Vanille's battle noises are really cute. The those are just, I really like them. Good contrast with Saz's cool gun fu grunts. Yeah, yeah, it's just a short stagger bar. I don't think it actually, I don't think the scan shows any information on how long the stagger meter lasts. I think that's just hidden. But, yeah, definitely not getting much out of it.
We got this, Vanille. Watch and learn, kid.
Can I stagger him before he fires off the... Yes!
Follow the old man's lead.
Oh. Yeah. I feel like it'd be better if the grunts weren't cute, though. Again, just like really get that gap appeal going. Okay. Three stars, come on, I'm doing my best. The good news is we have haste, and haste is a really good ability. As it is in every Final Fantasy, but it's also good here. I definitely considered putting it into Get in the Car, because haste is just one of those things where, like, it's immediately obvious why it works so well. It's, like, obviously satisfying. But the problem is battles and Get in the Car just all, like, it's already too fast. Haste would just be, like, impossible to keep up with. And I like that, that fast-paced feeling. And sort of want to capture it, but as a result, it means that, like, there's just an upper bound on that.
Well, isn't this great?
So yeah, something we do in Get in the Car is that there are, like, there are quick attacks, like, there are attacks that, have a shorter, cooldown on them. But, oh god, this is gonna fucking murder me, isn't it? Oh, no, actually went okay.
Did you see that coming?
Alright, let's get some synergy going. And then I'll eat shit.
Ducks finally run out.
No cute accountant. So, yeah, I recently got, I got my eye tested for the first time in, well over a decade. And, it turns out I definitely need glasses. I was like, oh, it's just like, sometimes stuff that's really far away is kind of hard to read. That's not that big a deal. I'm not gonna worry about it. And, what I realized is that, no, I've just been, my vision had gotten so bad, I just managed to frog boil myself into thinking that, like, this was fine. But, yeah, just like fuck me, I am doing really bad at this fight. I don't know why, it's not even that hard. I'm overthinking this. So yeah, I was like, oh, well, sure, it's hard to, it's hard to read something that's like, you know, 10 meters away, but that's not really that big a deal. How often do I need to read stuff 10 meters away? And what I didn't realize is that, like, anything more than 2 meters away from me also was just kind of blurrier. And I just wasn't really, like, noticing that, because I'd gotten used to it. Anyway, I don't need them to play video games. I'm nearsighted. The TV is close enough that, like, it doesn't make a difference at all. So, I'm not wearing them all the time, but anytime that I need to see basically anything more than 2 meters, it's back to glasses.
Closing up, kiddo.
Fuck me, not again. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to this fight and not whine about glasses.
We got this, Vanille. Watch and learn, kid. Did you see
Neil,
that
please don't die.
coming? We got this, Vanille.
Yeah, it's true. I do have full TP. I could always run them over with a car. Or I could use haste. Shit, I thought I'd... Yeah, Saz has a car. Actually, yeah, let's just bust it out. Might as well. Actually, no. I think there'll be a more opportune time for it.
Thanks, Vanille. Watch and learn, kid.
Wow, that was just not a great... Not that useful a stagger phase. I just want to say that I'm intensely grateful for everyone in chat who's workshopping better names for the Flanborg. I do strongly agree that Flandroid, the $6 million Flan, is a much better name for that. So, thank you. Oh, I like that they're representing, he has bonus frost damage right now, so they're representing that with just an effect on his guns. Like, I think that's something that only works in this game precisely because the weapons draw so much attention to themselves, just due to the way the animations work. Thank you. Thank you for the flan content.
The wind, it's dying down.
Yeah, it's stopping. And we're decelerating. They up to something?
I don't suppose it could just be, I don't know, good luck?
That looks a lot more like bad luck.
You got a point.
Not to me. That we can do something about.
Boo to that.
Let's turn the tables. Hey, feet stop working?
Fang, settle down. Okay, there's an orb back there, so let's go do our orb thing. I will take out the Vespids now that I know just how much they suck.
Keep the enemy off balance.
Yeah, the fall damage continues to be really funny.
Change of plan.
Oh, please. Please heal, sir. Please spare heal. Hail, please. You know what? Let's just... You know what the best way to stop him from doing damage is? Putting him 20 feet in the air.
Ready for the next fight.
I feel like rooms that are just like big boxes makes a lot of sense on, you know, like the hangar of like a big flying aircraft carrier that feels like on theme to me. Like, doesn't really seem like a problem. I mean, you know what they say? The best defense is launching your enemies into goddamn space.
Steady now, thanks. Keep the enemy off balance.
The skybox is the feature here, and to be fair, it's a really good skybox. I've been really impressed by how these look. It's good. Less impressed by all these fucking wasps.
Nothing I can't handle.
I don't know if I approve of enemies that you can't launch into the air. Doing okay for CP. I can upgrade some more. I haven't been using lightning as a medic, so I'm not gonna bother upgrading those for now. Yeah, let's boost Ravager. I have not sold any credit cards that I've stolen from enemies recently. We probably have a bunch of money. It's probably enough to stop upgrading stuff. The reason why I've been avoiding that is because basically the moment you start upgrading stuff, you are making a bunch of decisions about how you want to like be speccing characters, and because like the weapons in this game are kind of a commitment to a certain playstyle for each character, like they have different properties that sort of affect the way that like what paradigms you use them with or what rules you use them with. Like it's worth doing. The stat bonuses are good.
On your toes.
It's just because it means I need to make a bunch of decisions, I've been kind of putting it off. Like if I start upgrading a weapon and then I decide that like I don't want to build the character around that, it means I've wasted a bunch and like you can't really recover the resources expended on that. So I've just been putting it off. But we are in the chapter where finally like you actually do start upgrading and getting different weapons and buying stuff. Potentially because it's the first time in the game where you have money. And like I do feel like it's interesting that like the way the weapon upgrade system works is that because they all have different upgrade paths, it means that rather than just like, you know, like you buy a new sword and this is the gold sword and it's more powerful than the silver sword, and in the next town you'll sell the gold sword so you can buy the platinum sword. So I think it's good that like it doesn't fall into that trap. But one of the things is that as a result, you sort of have to like be thinking about it more, and I just don't want to be making commitments on the spot. Oh, there's an orb. It's definitely something that I've been thinking a lot in terms of, I feel like it's good when different items, different weapons force you to like think about things from a different strategic perspective, like when it does like affect the way you build, like when it affects the way you strategize. I think that's really good. I like that a lot. But one thing that's important is that you need to combine that with systems that like encourage you to experiment a lot too, or like players will often gravitate towards the most conservative thing, even if playing really conservatively like means they're at a disadvantage, like what I'm like doing right now by whining about how much I don't want to upgrade my weapons. Which is why Get in the Car like has like this sort of gacha-based item system where you just... It's very cheap to try out new things, you're encouraged to do it, and like hopefully as a result the player will feel like, you know, that they'll want to do it a lot and that like they'll just discover interesting strategies organically. Whereas this is just very much like look up a guide. I don't know if I'll actually hit the mark or not. Like this is just like me discussing like what are my goals, and obviously I don't think their goal was to have something that you felt like you had to look up in a guide, so you know, they were trying, they just missed the mark. Yeah, Get in the Car like has like text that calls out the fact that you should not be hoarding your items. Whether or not players will actually listen to that is a whole other matter. I'm really hoping that they don't, though.
Keep a cool head.
Val gets a Mountain Dew from a vending machine, goes, cool, a taunt upgrade is basically Get in the Car canon. That's how it works.
As if there was any doubt.
I think Mountain Dew would give you poison abilities, though. That is the ethos of the game. Oh, that's so many guys. Oh hey, they put deck drones on the deck. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. Okay, have I scanned all these guys? I have. This sucks. I guess I'll try using the Phoenix down. It's so expensive, but I have so much. Shit, I should be focusing on the Vespits first because I hate them and I want them to die. Fucking ruining my life.
Keep a cool head.
No.
No.
Sorry, I mean, no. Okay, gonna take out the Vespits first. I'm sitting on 3 TP. I might as well bring my good friend Odin. Perhaps he will be of help. And even if he's not, you know, he's a horse. We've been going for about 2 hours, so I'm just about to start with the get in the car portion.
We do this together.
I do usually start somewhere between 4 to 4:30 Eastern time.
Let's ride. Charge. Hiya. Shake the ground. The storm is here. Until next time.
I don't remember what Vanille's Eidolon is. It's... I feel like in... Oh. Hope, get it together.
Target's a target. Change of plan.
Oh yeah, no, Lightning's whole cut us a path thing is super cool. I really like it a lot. I'm very happy that Lightning Returns exists just to, you know, give us an entire game up for voice acting and her being put in like the solo protagonist role means that people can give her a hard time in a really good way. It's just some real good. You know, in case, okay, they're not guarding any orbs, so I'm not gonna fucking go anywhere near that. I just want no part of any of this. Okay, I think this is a good place to let off for now. I'm gonna be doing a very brief get in the car section this time. Wait, I did save, right? Yes, okay. Just checking. So yeah, just bear with me and I'll switch everything over. Sorry, we're just quickly adjusting the volume levels because this game is louder than Final Fantasy XIII, and I still have not correctly gotten the volume meter working. Setting screen has just been a very low priority. Just gonna throw us into a battle because that'll give us some noise very quickly. Yeah, just make sure it's not... Yeah, sure. I'm just saying some words so that Miguel can test my audio levels versus how would the game... Sorry, that sentence just like fell apart on me. Miguel is just doing some testing to make sure that I'm not swallowed up by the noise of the game. Hopefully it sounds good. Just saying some more words just for the sake of audio test. Hopefully it's okay.
Just checking with chat.
But you think it's good?
They say it sounds good.
Okay, cool.
So if you want to change your description.
Yeah, I will do that. Just gonna change the description over here on the stream. Thanks, Miguel. Okay, updated that. I'm just gonna go grab some water really quickly. I hear it's important to stay hydrated. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with water. Okay, so, what was I gonna show this week? So I've been working on, I've been working on the slow ability. I don't know if, Drakey was around last week, but, there was a suggestion from chat that, one thing that would be interesting is if slow was something that, like, if you stacked on top of it, it would turn to stop, and last week I implemented that and showed how that worked, and I wasn't quite satisfied with the way it was working. Like, it felt good, but it just was, like, slightly hard to manage, and it felt like you were doing too much micromanagement of these states. So, something I did was I've actually changed the way stagger works. So now when you stagger an enemy, I'm just gonna wait for slow to wear off on the dolphin so I can show this. They will slow down, but they will still do their attacks. Before, the way it worked was that with normal enemies they'd be stopped, but with bosses they would slow down, and I think also that was like the slightly inconsistent behavior was like a little bit unclear, so now they both work the same way. And it means that, like, if you stagger an enemy, they're less of a threat, but they still do something. But the way it works now is that when you cast slow on an enemy that isn't staggered, they'll now move at half speed, which is the same as when they're staggered. So if you stack both a stagger and slow on top of each other, it will turn to stop until that wears off and he moves into attack again. So as a result, it's something that, like, you still need to do upkeep on, but there's only so much you can do. It's not like constant upkeep, which is sort of the goal that I wanted, because I want something. Oh, okay. Slight bug there. That's not supposed to happen when they die. So yeah, that'll need some work. I just got these new effects working very recently, and they're still not, like, completely tweaked yet. These are still, like, very early versions. Yeah, there's that victory jingle I was talking about. I still really like it. So let me just throw in another fight so I can show. First I'm gonna run away and I'm gonna heal up because I don't think I'm gonna beat this guy with 4 hit points. Empty Eye in chat asking if I'm getting the bundle I have on Steam of every game so far that has, like, a stacking discount. For Gen the Car will definitely be in that bundle in the future. So you'll get the game. You'll get the discount on the game. Any future DLC, if there is any. The soundtrack. I don't want to make, like, you know, strong promises about what's that gonna be. I would, like, if you're getting that bundle, I would get it for what games are out now, but I do plan on getting the car and the soundtrack in there at launch. Okay, so healed up. Gonna fight a huge pinch. So yeah, one thing that I'm not satisfied about with this sort of, I like the idea of this particle effect border. I don't. There's no announced release date yet. It's going to be sometime this year. We'll have more to tell you about the release soon, but for now, yeah, just sometime this year. I feel like I like the visual effect on the stopped enemy, but I don't feel like it actually conveys stopped. I feel like it conveys it's powered up, which we don't have any particular type of enemy power up yet, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do about that. I might just adjust the colors. I might iterate on that more. What I am really happy with is the boost effect, which is an ability that increases the level of your attacks. Whoops, targeted the wrong one there. And you can see it gets lighter as it wears off. Oh yeah, and one more adjustment I made was that juggle now, in the same way as Final Fantasy XIII, it only works when the enemy is staggered. I felt like that was just help balance-wise to make it not super powerful, and gives you more of an encouragement to stagger now that stagger has been made a little less powerful. Also, this is a really bad layout right now, or loadout that I have. It's just what I wanted for testing, but it's definitely not. Yeah, there's that bug again. The 3 hits of juggle do count as individual blows for the combo mechanic, so that's the thing that makes it still a good ability, even if they're not staggered. I want it to be something that still has a use when you're fighting against a non-staggered enemy. So it still works, it just doesn't have the launch ability. And hopefully that hopefully that's a good trade-off. But yeah, if you use it against a normal enemy, you'll see you get those combo points, but it doesn't. And yeah, please ignore the visual error when you kill a slowed enemy. That will be fixed. In fact, was fixed earlier. Not sure why it's happening now. I'll take a look. Yeah, I do feel happy about the effect on the animation for stopped enemies, and I'm just not sure about the color. I feel like red feels like it's a color associated with Machine Devil. It feels like it makes them more powerful. a question about what does the 4% bonus gauge under the hit counter mean? I will let me pull up a fight where that'll be a little more obvious. But what it means is that the higher your combo goes, you'll do a little bit of bonus stagger, even if it's grace attacking. So that 2% is actually added to the ravage meter. So yeah, watch how it's at 200% right now, but the stagger meter is actually going up. There's like that little white percentage next to your damage that's being added, and that's because of the combo. So still like ravage abilities are the best way to add like increase the stagger meter. Huh. Yeah, there was definitely a visual glitch there. I'm gonna take a look, see what was going on there. I'm not sure what's happening there. I think it's... Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at that. That is definitely a bug. I don't think it looks great. So I will adjust that. But yeah, so this is what I've been working on. This is what I've been working on this week. And I'm feeling fairly satisfied. Huh. I am also not sure why. Yeah, so the way that these effects work is that they use particle systems, and like I've only just implemented them. I put the finishing touches on them. The slow effect this morning, so clearly there's still some weird edge cases where it's not quite working out. We'll definitely be adjusting that. But right now my goal is to iterate on these abilities, get them feeling a little more satisfying, so that like when I do play testing for the boss fights, I'm actually using kit that's similar to like what players will be using. I don't want it to be, you know, built around a bunch of basic abilities and then suddenly slow becomes more effective, and I haven't like done any testing around that at all. But yeah, that's all for this week. Just gonna be doing some more testing on that. But I'm feeling a little more satisfied with both those abilities than I was before. I think stagger now feels a little less powerful, but also like still feels good and is still like really encouraged. And I think again, just like having launch in there that only works when staggered, or having slow that only that becomes more powerful when the enemy is staggered. Basically, weakening stagger normally has made it so that I can feel better about adding abilities that like feel more powerful against staggered enemies. So I think ultimately like it'll feel like you're more powerful. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna do more testing on that. Thank you so much for joining. I will, there will still not be any stream, this weekend, since, Miguel still has a lot to do to get ready for PAX. Hopefully we'll be doing that again once things have settled down a little. And yeah, next week the fal'Cie road trip will continue. I will be showing more Final Fantasy XIII. I'm going to be iterating on some other design stuff and getting the cars, so please look forward to seeing that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining.